So just bumped into Marnie Webb at Board Source Conference, where you gave this fantastic presentation about the TechSoup Global Network and how you've grown it. So want to share some insights?
Sure. So one of the things, and it actually came out in the presentation as I was listening to questions and us talk about the work that we've done, that we weren't really prepared for success, frankly. And when we went internationally and started growing our networks, we didn't necessarily grow them with the idea that we were going to succeed, and we didn't put all the tools in place to help us manage both branding and impact in a way that made sense with the people that we were working with on the ground. So we started our NetSquared initiative, right? And we decided, well, let's have some local conversations where volunteer organizers raise their hand and say, I'm willing to host a volunteer meetup in my city to talk about how social media can help civil society organizations move their missions forward. And we thought, we're going to be lucky if 6 or 7 people say yes, and we have it in 6 or 7 cities. Now we have it in 74 cities. It's supported by a half-time person, and we were utterly unprepared for that success. And we didn't necessarily give people the tools that they needed to be able to launch the projects in easy ways. And so they had to go out and find those tools. That's great. It was great that they were showing the initiative, but the bad part is it makes it hard for us to track the impact and share stories from one success to another one so that they can learn from each other in good ways, right? So that was a big thing that we wish we'd done better. The other thing that we did as part of this that I wish we had thought about more consciously was about branding. So we haven't in the initiatives that we've grown through partnerships, we didn't make people take on our brand. We let them take on the brand that was locally meaningful to them and the one that they thought they had the most value. And this is another place where we weren't necessarily prepared for success, because that was really true when we first started growing, particularly internationally, right? People didn't necessarily know about TechSoup, but they knew about this local organization, and that was more valuable. But as we've grown, a lot of people now know about TechSoup, or a lot of people know about NetSquared, and that brand has a value that we didn't necessarily anticipate. So I think it was a right decision for us not to mandate our branding on these organizations, do what makes sense to you locally. I think we needed to do a better job of making the brand available to them if they wanted to use it, and a way that stitched the stories together just so it's comprehensible to the users, right? So they understand how these initiatives are and aren't related. That's the best part of branding, right? Is it just helps you find your place in the world. So one of the lessons learned is that I think if we'd done those two things together, given people the tools and given them different ways to display the branding according to their choice within those tools, probably some of that impact would have worked better. I mean, we would have been able to better describe the impact because the efforts would have been stitched together better. And mostly we would have helped the efforts find each other and share lessons learned with each other and not just through us.
That's great.